Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sad that I have to make this video. I really am. I like Joey Swoll. I think he is a hugely positive force on the gym community. There have been many different videos where he's come out and made a huge change, where somebody is filming somebody who's overweight or filming a guy and, criticizing them because they look their way, or doing all manner of nasty and inappropriate things at the gym. And Joey Swoll makes these videos, and sometimes these people, they get canceled from their gym membership, they get removed from the gym, and it's a very positive, very wholesome thing. I really like this guy, but I have never been more disappointed. He came out and did a groveling apology. Why? Because he paid tribute to Hulk Hogan. That's right. He posted a video. He posted a video of him dressed as Hulk for Halloween at the gym. Ripped to a legend and one of my inspirations to start working out. That is an incredibly positive, amazing, uplifting message. It is a huge and beautiful send-off to the Hulkster. It's great. Well, unfortunately, the most fragile and bitch-made people among us decided that that was deeply offensive and problematic. Now, do any of these people actually know Hulk Hogan? No. Everyone who actually knew him is broken up, teary-eyed, just destroyed about this. But the reality is that there is a group of people that are so hypocritical and malevolently fucking evil that they will piss on a man's reputation and legacy even after he died. When the man has given himself over to Christ, he apologized for what he did. And the fact of the matter is that this is something that he said in a private moment. He didn't go out in public and do this. This isn't like Nick Fuentes going out on a stage and broadcasting this in front of the world. It was a private moment with his daughter where he vented some genuine anger. And the fact that there is no forgiveness in this community, the black community that commits more crime than any other race combined, there's no forgiveness in you? Your stats, whether it's rape stats, whether it's violent crime, whatever it is, are the most embarrassing in the entire world. And you have the fucking gall, the audacity to be the embarrassment of our country and the world, and to try to ruin a man for his worst moment that he apologized for, that he regretted. And everyone who knew him has a positive story about Hulk Hogan helping them, but it doesn't mean shit. Well, you have to tear this person down because you feel inferior. No one's putting that on you. You're putting that on yourself and exporting that and willing to ruin people to do it. Hulk Hogan gave more back to the world than anyone who is criticizing him combined to the power of 10. It is outrageous that you would not only try to destroy Hulk, but Joey Swoll, this positive guy. You try to ruin this guy for saying that Hulk Hogan was an inspiration. I have no doubt. But it is outrageous. It is infuriating that not only do you go after Joey Swoll, what about Sydney Sweeney? The black community is chimping out, going crazy. Why? She's got blonde hair, she's got blue eyes, she's pale, and she's attractive. And that is enough to send these racists into orbit. No, now we got to destroy Sydney Sweeney. Now we got to cancel her. Oh, guys, did you know that her grandma had a birthday party on a ranch? And you know that on that ranch, some of her family wore Blue Lives Matter shirts? Oh my God. And some of them wore Make 60 Great Again hats. Can you believe that? Well, we should cancel her, cancel Hulk Hogan, cancel Joey Swoll. Meanwhile, St. George Floyd, hallowed be his name, put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. No, we can't talk about that. No, why are you bringing that up? Why are you bringing that up after his death? You know, he died. You know, the police are responsible. Yeah, maybe, maybe he did, do that, put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. We don't talk about that. I mean, St. George Floyd, he was great. He was a hero. Do you understand how inverted the thinking of these people are? It is absolutely insane to me. And it breaks my heart on multiple different levels. Because there is zero accountability. Joey Swoll, I was hoping that he'd come out and make a statement like, look, this is ridiculous. You can't just go around bullying people. You can't just go around bullying people and making the case that, no, his legacy should be tarnished forever because at his lowest point, when he was recorded in secret, that's his true self. No. In the same way that Mel Gibson's true self is not when he had a tirade after, going through a divorce, going through the lowest point in his life, and he's dealing with so much shit, he says something that's disgusting and despicable. So you judge him for the rest of his life? But the black community, you can't judge any one of them for their decisions, for their crimes, for the people they killed or stolen from or anything. No, them you have to absolve. And if you want to listen to the nimbious white liberal reason, socioeconomics and all these different excuses, really what it boils down to is that they don't believe that black people can be held accountable for their actions. And it's disgraceful. We need to start treating black people as equals. And what that means is holding people accountable. Holding them accountable for their actions and their words and behaviors. That also means that if there's somebody that shows remorse and repents, that you forgive them. Because that's what the Bible tells us to do, isn't it? That if somebody shows true remorse, if somebody that has a career of helping others has a bad moment, has a moment where they say something dark, you don't hold that against them forever, because that is going to be held against you forever when you're standing in front of the Almighty. The fact that we have to have this conversation at all makes me genuinely ill, and it is such a sad reality. It is such a sad reality because I'm America first. I want everyone in America to do well, because when everyone in America is doing well, the entire country thrives. But right now, we've got a ton of problems, and no one seems to want to deal with it. Instead, they want to create these straw men to build them up and tear them down to feel better. But it is ridiculous. Hulk Hogan did more to inspire young kids, whether it be to go to the gym, say their prayers, eat their vitamins. Hulk Hogan was an inspiration. But he was a man. He was a flawed man. He did many things that I look at and go, that's terrible. Like Bubba the Love Sponge's wife and that whole thing, that was terrible. But the man, near the end of his life, found Christ, was baptized, and if he was true in his conviction, then his sins are absolved. And by the way, Hulk Hogan didn't murder anyone like OJ. From my perspective, the only thing that he needs to apologize for is saying the N-word. And that, to me, is saying a curse word. It's saying a bad word. And when you apologize for that, it should be one of the easiest things in the world to forgive, because it's just a word. Words do not have power but for what you give them. And the fact that there are so many people that are clinging on to that word being the worst thing in the world, it's just a cope. That's all it is. It's all it is. The reason that word has so much power is because the black community refuses to give it up. Because they know that without that word, without this delusion of racism, and don't get me wrong, there are actual racists out there. Hulk Hogan wasn't one of them. Because if Hulk Hogan was a genuine racist, he would have gotten Booker T fired for calling him the N-word on live TV. Yeah, you know that Booker T called Hulk Hogan the N-word on live TV? Booker T was talking about it. He's like, yeah, he goes, it was one of the worst moments of my career. He goes, I was fully expecting to get fired because anyone in that position would fire me. I used the N-word. I called you the N-word. And Booker T was like, yeah, Hulk didn't care. He didn't mind. He just made a joke about it. I mean, this is so ridiculous, and maybe it's because I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. You know, I was sort of at the tail end of his rise, but I got to see a little bit of Hulk Hogan, on playbacks and VHS. Everyone knew who Hulk Hogan was. He was a larger than life star. He inspired so many people. He was a part of many people's childhood. And to watch a group of people online that are perpetually internet brained, to watch them go after him in this way is just so despicable. You can criticize people if you want, but I don't think that a word should determine your entire fate. Especially because when we put the microscope on the people that are making the claims about how outrageous what he said is, it starts to become clear that it's not really about Hulk Hogan. It's not really about what he did or said. It's really about them and their issues and their insecurities and their inferiorities. And I just misclicked.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is Bro
come on,
Tip.
Hassan.
This week's Bro Tip is about bringing out the alpha male in you. A few things to consider when you're thinking about Lady Gaga.
Hassan, no, not the right time, Hassan. Get out of here. No, Hassan. No, this doesn't have anything to do with terrorism, Hassan.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that.
What the NAACP? What does that stand for? The National Advocacy and Advancement of Colored People? It's not the NAAPOC. By the way, colored people, people of color, it's all just a way to control your language, to control you. So the only appropriate thing is to say the N-word. No. The only appropriate thing is to not let your language be controlled by people at all, in any way, shape, matter, or form, as long as it's, within the TOS. And within the TOS, you can say colored people. It's not illegal to do so. And anyone who is saying, well, that's outdated and offensive, no. It's ridiculous to try to shame somebody for that. They knew exactly what you were talking about. Again, it's just more of the most fragile and bitch-made people chimping out, whining, complaining, and making excuses for their own insecurities and inferiorities. That's all it is. And Joey Swoll, what you have to understand is that this is going to be used because you've given these people on the left power. They're going to use this against other people, and they're going to make other people's lives miserable. That's what's going to happen here. Other people are going to get bullied and going to get vilified and be called racist because of what you've done here. I guarantee it. If they can make you do it, they can make anyone do it. That's going to be the thinking. And unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of people that have to go through being called racist and other things because of this. And it's really sad. It really is sad. And it's unfortunate to watch. But maybe Joey doesn't know or doesn't, want any of that smoke, or he doesn't want any of that conflict. But I'm telling Joey, they're never going to forgive you. Never. Because it's the only thing they have. The only thing they have, and they're never going to let it up. And they're going to use you as an example. They're going to make you dance to their tune, and eventually they're just going to destroy you for the fun of it, because it's what they do. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but it is the reality.
Which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better.
Okay. What about the people that are trying to tear down Hulk Hogan based on their own personal issues? Trying to make it taboo to honor Hulk Hogan because of their own inferiority complex, and thinking that it's okay to bully and hurt people to do that. Take Hulk Hogan out of the equation. Joey, do you think it's okay what the black community is doing to Sydney Sweeney right now and her family? Do you think that's okay? To basically call her a Nazi? To say that, that she is calling for eugenics? That the black community exports their inferiority complex, their insecurities, their weakness onto somebody else? I thought that was everything that you were against. I thought you were standing up for the little guy. And right now, there are a bunch of people that are being bullied based on this group of bullies. These people that are just expelling their hatred and venom based on their own personal issues, and that's not okay. I thought you were better than this, Joey. I'm so disappointed.
I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human, I am still growing, I am still learning, and I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place, and once again, to everybody, I apologize.
Yeah, well, that's sad. That's really quite disappointing. It's just, I really like this guy, but that was just a huge letdown. He didn't do anything wrong. That's atrocious. That is genuinely atrocious. You honored Hulk Hogan, a legend, an icon, a guy that inspires so many people. And because of bullies, because of a bunch of racist bullies, you decided to cave and capitulate and apologize for everything. Okay, I didn't mean to say colored athletes. You said colored athletes. But no, I was supposed to say athletes of color. Are you fucking kidding me? These language Nazis. I mean, the irony is, the people who speak Ebonics want to lecture you about language. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that at this point, I think it's abundantly clear that there is a huge problem. And unfortunately, more people are going to be subjected to this type of stuff. But I just want to let you know where I stand unequivocally. I think Hulk Hogan was one of the most incredible entertainers ever. And I think these miserable people on the left are demons. I do. I think that they're demons. I think that they are sent here. I think a lot of them are, and some people may say this is crazy. I think a lot of them are people that are sent here to test us. Test our resolve, test, how are we going to react under pressure? And I think that a lot of the time people fail. They just fail. They crumble. They disintegrate. And I think that the only appropriate thing to do in this position is to stand your ground and have some resolve. It's obvious to anyone watching that there was no malicious intent, and that's the most important thing. You're talking about a group of people in the black community that are some of the most cold, just cold when it comes to, like I was watching a clip. An old guy got knocked out by some young black kid, and the black people around there were just standing and laughing and not helping the guy, not doing anything. cold. Like, seriously cold. Heartless behavior. And you watch that and you go, that's the group of people that's telling you that you need to be more compassionate and understanding, and you need to change your language, and you need to adopt this different behavior, and how dare you praise Hulk Hogan? Oh, you said colored athletes instead of athletes of color? Get the fuck out of here. It's so absurd. It's so ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time.